Hello, this is First Fire Non-Assault Move. Welcome back to the 26th video in the War in the East series. Well, I'm going to call this 26 Alpha because I wanted to get a quick situation report up to you to show what has transpired since the last video and possibly get 26 Bravo up later on this weekend. And have some opening remarks about the situation overall. We knew that after the Soviets' winter offensive that they had 3 to 4 weeks to recover, and that was mud conditions, so there was no activity on either side. So the Soviets were able to rebuild, recover their losses, establish a very solid main line of resistance, get those replacements, those vehicle repairs. So overall, they're a very healthy, uh, now motivated army that we're going to face. And it proved the case last video when we kicked off our spring and summer offensive, and we met very stubborn, bitter defense from the Soviets. They didn't give an inch, and it was hard going. And we knew that was going to be the case because they were able to dig in and fortify their positions during that about a month's worth of uh, no rounds fired across the lines, just able to prepare what we were going to throw at them. And they really did. They positioned themselves to defend in depth, and during that first week of our offensive, we witnessed that they cleverly used reserve divisions behind the main line of resistance in reserve status that greatly helped them defend against our attacks and gave them favorable combat resolutions. So it was no easy go whatsoever. But we knew that, and we also weren't trying to win the war in the East in the first week of May. We wanted to start out with some shaping operations, and the proverbial elephant. You can't eat an elephant in one bite. You gotta take small bites, and eventually you will have devoured the elephant. And in this case, the elephant's the Soviets, obviously. So we're going to take, uh, starting off, some smaller bites, uh, destroy uh, where we can Soviet formations, which would really be smaller encirclements, um, capitalize on where they get a little overeager and counterattack, which in some places that is shaping up, which I'll point out. Also, we can't we can't let them to remain comfortably in place in their defensive positions because they're only going to get stronger. We had to disrupt their front. We had to uh, give them some body blows, give them a bloody nose, and disrupt their lines and get them on the back foot so that we can regain the initiative and keep the initiative. And later down the road, later in 1942, we'll seek that crippling blow that maybe a grand encirclement or a series of encirclements so that at the end of the year, the Soviets will have. The plan is, at the end of the year, the Soviets will have lost so many forces and have so many formations destroyed that it will make winning the war in the East in 1943 achievable for us. Yeah, so that's the plan. So we're looking at the end of my moves, my attacks, and I'm ready to click next turn. But let's get a quick update. All right. Something is wrong here. Rather than go back and say all that again, I have to reload the correct turn. Yeah, so uh, I see what happened. I was enjoying the. Oh, let me quickly say I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, happy holidays, and you enjoyed time with your families. had some peace and quiet, and we're able to relax. It's been a very difficult year for most everyone, but I hope the Christmas spirit was there, and you were able to have some joy uh, during the day. So yesterday, uh, after the Christmas glow was wearing off and people were in bed and I couldn't get to sleep, I started to open up some scenarios just to take a peek what the DLC packs looked like. Lost Battles and uh, Dawn, Donitz to Never to the Dawn, Donitz. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, and not to go off, not to go astray here, but quickly, yeah, the scenarios look very interesting, and boy, oh boy, are the Germans in dire straits in some of those scenarios. So what happened is when you open up a scenario, the game autosaves files, and I was trying to look at the timestamp and get the correct file for our game here. This looks like the turn, a save file before I have started executing my turn for the last week of May. No, wait. Wait. No, this is the right one. Am I losing my mind? I'm sorry. I'm going to step aside while I figure this out. I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back and I figured it out. I had the wrong save file. What happened is I think I executed all my moves up to about here. Then I had to step away and save the game, came back, finish up the moves to a point where we're ready to click next turn. But now you can see that we started executing some attacks here in this sector of Army Group North because okay, so I have to step back a second. So now we are at the end of May, and the last video was the beginning of May. So in between that time, there was one full turn of mud and another turn where a large portion of the map was mud, and there were some sections of clear terrain, solid ground. So we continued the attack during where we could during in the sections of the map where it was clear terrain, solid ground, clear skies, solid ground, and we obviously couldn't attack where it was mud. And then after that, there was a turn of mud across the entire map. All three sectors, let's look at them. Yeah, North Soviet zone, center, and south were all mud. Even the European zone was mud. And that was the week prior to this week. So any attempts to break out in the Pskov area were almost immediately thwarted due to mud, and the Soviets took advantage of that full week of mud to rush in numerous troops and reinforce the Pskov sector, and also start to threaten our flanks, which I'm not too concerned about. Neither side here, neither the Soviets or the Germans, have enough combat power to really damage each other. But we'll take some steps here. So, in the theme of disrupting the Soviets where we can, can't leave them comfortable, can't leave them to continue to dig in and fortify their positions. We attacked in this sector of Army Group North because it's the least defended, and we have enough combat power to, in the next week or two, cause concern for the Soviets, which they'll have to continue to retreat, and we'll end up with our end state, what we thought we would be able to achieve with taking Leningrad off the table, at least establishing a front up to the Gulf of Finland, where in 1941 we had our high mark, where we had the farthest we advanced in 1941 was right around here in this part of Army Group North. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. If the Soviets do pull out from the Pskov area and start to reinforce here, which I don't think they will, I think they'll just gradually retreat. And if they continue to do that, their front here, their troops here will be in disarray, and we'll start to get some small encirclements. Because in that case, I will reinforce this effort to at least accomplish clearing out this area, retaking Tallinn, and getting a defensive line against the Gulf of Finland. And then we'll have strong enough forces to at least defend and fend off the Soviets. And that will start to feel the threat around Leningrad, and they'll start pulling forces back into this region, I'm predicting. All right. So where we ended up, to disrupt the Soviets, start to get disrupt their front, even though it doesn't look too disrupted here, we have to start and continue to do that. So there were attacks in this region, along with a whole bunch of airdrops, and we had some success. Not bad. So we're putting pressure where we're putting pressure on multiple parts of the front, so the Soviets have to react, and to the point where they have to be assured that we will not have a breakout and achieve an encirclement. So they will overreact and start to really defend in depth and thicken these defenses here. So what that means is they have to pull forces out from other parts of the sector, and we will adapt to that and take advantage where those situations come up. Okay, so last video, which was the first week of May, we had achieved a small encirclement of about 12 to 15 Soviet formations. A few of them got away, but we were able to shatter and disrupt 3 to 4 of them, and we had six Soviet divisions surrender outright. So that was great. It's like 15,000, about 30,000, 40,000 prisoners out of those 6 divisions. And there's one bite out of the Soviet forces, taking advantage of the combat power that we can bring to bear with our panzer divisions. We shifted gears as soon as we had solid ground and changed our axis of advance, still north and east, but more due north. And we broke through their lines, disrupted and shattered some formations, and we achieved another local encirclement. This time 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 divisions will surrender outright. So that's another 50 to 70,000 Soviets that will be off the board. Maybe 40 to 50 we're expecting. And we seriously disrupted their front to the extent that they're trying to bend to our pressure. Eventually, they'll continue to bend, but they will break eventually. Our forces are arrayed to give us some options. So we have at least 2 to 3 Panzer Corps here, and another 2 to 3 here, with strong infantry divisions, and we used every plane available to reinforce our troops after the hard fighting. So it could provide an opportunity to break out north and south and achieve an encirclement here. And we're not too far removed from the Soviets' deep area where they have their airfield set up, and there's not too many operational reserves here. So that's great. And that is more than likely what we are going to do, is continue to attack in this sector and down here in this sector. But it's going to factor into what the Soviets do. So amassing our combat power up here obviously meant we had to strip forces from other parts of the front, and this is kind of a thin gray line right now, where the Soviets have a sizable amount of forces, at least 2 divisions in each hex, sometimes 3. but this is a little bit of a vulnerable part of the front for us. But I did leave at least some a strong infantry force that could quickly move down and reinforce if necessary. Down here, no attacks, but just moving adjacent to the Soviets, and we're thinking of trying to maybe rope-a-dope the Soviets, letting them move into this area here where we have a Panzer Corps poised and another Panzer Corps poised. And maybe we're getting a little local encirclement here and cutting off another 9 to 12 Soviet divisions. Maybe by the start of June, we will have 26, 30 divisions in smaller shaping operations, and the start of our offensive having destroyed about 30 Soviet divisions before we just even start into June. That's not too bad, based on the circumstances and the strength of the Soviet main line of resistance starting out here as spring breaks. Good news is rail capacity was back to normal, I would say. During 1 week, it was 35,000, and then 24,000. And I think it was in the 20s and low 30s again. So we took full advantage of that. We railed in, I would say, 8 to 10 German infantry divisions, and a couple of them were regiments, so maybe 6 full divisions and 2 to 4 regiments. So every German reinforcement that we received since the beginning of May has either made it to the front or is on its way. Oh, and we also received another railroad repair engineer. Where are those divisions? Yeah, I think most of them have been assimilated into the front. Yeah. I think a couple couldn't make it. Yeah, here's some. Oh, to include a full Panzer division. It looks super weak right now because it's sitting in mud. Fully supplied. And here's an interesting little regiment. And there was another group that was sitting on the railroads. But I made sure to leave at least 15 movement factors to the troops that we were railing in so that they could detrain and freeing it up the rail cars so that we could have that rail capacity for the next week. I think most of them made it. Here's another, but there was, geez, I think about 8 to 10 Hungarian divisions with a couple corps and army couple corps headquarters and an army headquarters that we were able to rail up, and we're seeing them right here. It's an odd part of our front that I'm trying to figure out what to do here. But what we want to do is at least be able to defend very confidently and not allow the Soviets to accomplish anything here in the south, while our main axis of advance is in Army Group Center, its area of operations. So yeah, so the Hungarians are making their way to the front, going to contribute, which is fantastic. Could we figure on mud occurring again next week, maybe here in the south again? Oh yeah, so during these mud turns in the south, the Romanians have been able to rest and refit, move up. They have been attacked, so they're looking pretty strong right now against relatively light Soviet forces in front of them. Our main combat power is 11th Army and 3rd Panzer Division here. So disrupt, fragment their front, push them back, and that will provide us opportunities to do greater things. And that's about it. I think I am ready to click next turn, capture that on this video, and then I'll execute our moves and then have an update for the next video. See how we did. All right, next turn. Well, let's save. I always do this anyway, just habit. Boom. all those saved files. It's hard to get. You can see how I screwed that up. All right, let's go. They have been attacking. They have been attacking when they're solid ground. They don't see us too vulnerable in any spots. I think they will try to counterattack where we have achieved that little encirclement, because we just didn't have the movement to really defend the outer perimeter of the encirclement as much as I would like. They're moving south or north? To do there. Wow. They're going to lose. Three are there. I bet there's a tank corps, and they have cavalry corps now showing up. Three divisions. Well, probably a couple corps, maybe. We'll see what they are. No, it's not going to save them. Could be an opportunity here. That is good. We're gonna have to check that out. Three, 6, 9, 10, 12. Yeah. Each side is feeling each other out. The fact that Soviets are willing to extend themselves like that in areas definitely provides opportunities for us, rather than retreating, just pushing them back, and they end up defending in depth. So this, although it looks like they are attacking, this gives us more opportunity to I don't want to say counterattack, but take advantage of them overextending. Don't mind that at all. Wagon cart wheels, yep. I use usually signifies the end of their turn. See what happens. Alright, so they lost 90 tanks. Lost 20. Keep it under 20,000 a turn, then that's not bad. I want to have that lower though. Soviets only lost 56 during those attacks. And 90 more tanks. Climbing up there. 22,000. Alright. Oh, what the... It's random weather. So, we are suffering from poor random rolls here for weather generation. That's for sure. Oh my god. Are not torrential rains over with? Mud everywhere? Oh, it's going to be a quick turn. I almost feel like I need to apologize for the weather. It's really a drag. And that means we can't polish them off and continue. Well, I don't know if this is a bright side, but it looks like the Soviets are saying, yeah, we're not going to be able to hold off. We're just going to retreat. Which will free up almost 2 infantry corps of our own, which is great. Which is very good. They can go elsewhere. Well, I hope you enjoyed this update. Obviously, the next turn is going to be very short for me. I'll do that off camera. Chase off partisans. Drop supplies. Make sure we're in command and control. Do we get any reinforcements? What's our real capacity? Anyways. Hey, 33,000. That's fantastic. Maybe. Ooh. Maybe. We'll think about what opportunities present themselves by shifting our own forces behind the lines now that we have all this rail capacity. And I believe I got almost all our Axis miners out to the front. Do you have anybody that's been freed up? No. Maybe in the turns to come. So I'll go through all that. Did we get any German formation? Oh, we did. We did. Not you guys. You know, we have naval transport mode. Unfortunately, our reinforcements are all coming in like right there and right there. Basically those 2 hexes. I think maybe they've shown up a few other places. I think there was some that showed up down here as well. Anyways, the very farthest western map edge they come in, but unfortunately not by sea. So I was looking at. We have strategic movement points for rail and for naval transport. Amphibious transport mode. Naval transport mode. I have to look more into that. That is a feature of the game I have never used. Again, probably something I should have been using, but that's alright. We'll look into it. So, economy of... To min-max our strategic movement, rail divisions up to the coast, put them on a boat, and use those naval strategic movement points. Drop them off along the coast here. I think that would be more efficient use. You know, I have never done that, so I need to test it. So I may test how that works. I got to read up on it a little bit. But yeah, that's great. We have, oh my goodness, 3 more. Look at those beauties. 3 more infantry divisions. Invaluable. Invaluable. And also 2 more. So that is incredible. Look at the difference. Clear weather, combat values versus combat values in mud. All right, so five more German reinforcements. And we have these troops on the way. And we had some Hungarian forces that weren't able to make it. No, you're going to go here. You are a garrison. Partisan chaser. Gosh darn it. Partisans, man. Partisans everywhere. Not as many this turn. Chase them off. Landing on our railroads. Yeah. Jerks. Alright, there's a couple things to do. Alright, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, well, I'll leave it at this, and I hope you enjoyed this update. I will come back up with some content during clear weather. I don't want to combine. Should we combine talking about what we're going to do once clear weather comes around? Well, there's really no need to have some content, put up a video just to talk about what we're going to do, because we know what we're going to do. Once the weather breaks, we're going to just continue our axis of advance, because we can't really shift anything right now unless we use our railroad capacity, but that won't come into effect till a turn after. So yeah, I will come back with a situation report after we get some clear weather and I have conducted my moves and attacks, and we can talk about it and see what has happened from that point. So again, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Thank you for watching. This is First Fire Non-Assault Move out.